Blog Talk Radio.
The motherfucking saga continues.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thugging like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dog Pound Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Bleh.
What's up with it, y'all? Man, don't change that down. This your player partner, the legendary Cocaine. And you tuned in live to Off the Cuff Radio. Better not touch that down.
Yeah, this is Cassidy, the hustler. And right now, you listening to the Guillotine. Show them the respect they deserve, man. Off the Cut Radio, man. Y'all already know how they doing it, man. I need y'all to stay tuned. They've been doing it for years, so show them the respect they deserve. And you heard it out of bars, mouth. Easy.
Keep it moving like this. Yo, this your boy Rampage. You're not rocking with the best. With Off the Cuff Radio. Classic. History. Fix your face to all you haters. We off the cuff, baby.
What's up, everybody? This your girl, Bonnie Dollars, the Queen of Trap, representing Crenshaw, and you are now tuned in with Off the Cuff Radio. What's up?
What's up, y'all? This is Miss Irresistible, giving a shout out to the livest show on Friday nights, Off the Cuff Radio, and I'm live from the 704. Make sure y'all tune in for the blazing hot music.
What it ain't, what it do. It's Chili Chill from that original Lynch Mob. And Off the Cuff Radio, always where it's at on Friday nights. West, y'all.
Yeah, B12 Black Sinatra. Yeah, it's like they woke up to cranking, man. This what we all been I can hear Gonzilla walking on the floor. Yo, Imam.
Check it, yo. 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 Slim fit, yet I stay on my muscle game. Play yourself, don't look at me, I ain't the one to blame. My reach is long, I'm on for more. One button push, that ass is gone. Never take a man kindness for his weakness. Picked it, rocked him, then I threw him in a sleeper. Queensbridge heat, spitting flames through your speaker. When they try and say you can't remake a classic, just tell them, shut the fuck up, you dirty bastard. And never interrupt the ones that's doing it. Yeah, we moving it, uncut, Kruger shit. That mean we got the boys dope on the block. Lyrical morphine flows for you to cop. Knocking in your drop top, knocking in your truck. Knocking in the streets is that new Imam Thug. Knocking in the streets is that new Imam Thug. Let's go,
We on our grind like all the time. That's why we always winning. We from QB, my G. Now please tell me what was you thinking? You know we got that work, we got that heat, we keep that fire. And when we drop this hit, it's only gonna take you higher.
Queensbridge, give a fuck about your feelings. Don't even try and hate. Kick down your buildings. Been grinding on these blocks for years. It appears you trying to cause dissension in the ranks. Sipping on a Henny mix with amphetamines, huh? This is Kruger, huh? You fucking with that real, huh? Use your face as a coaster. Early morning closing deals, sipping on mimosa. If you don't like us, we don't like you either. Fuck around if you want with that QB either. Imam Thug, Imam Bomb, Imam Grizzly. Legendary Candle Black, tell me, can you handle that? King shit is Queensbridge forever. Get it sewn in your dome like a butter soft leather. King shit is Queensbridge forever. Now it's sewn in your dome like a butter soft leather. Let's go.
We on our grind like all the time. That's why we always winning. We from QB, my G. Now please tell me what was you thinking? You know we got that work, we got that heat, we keep that fire. And when we drop this hit, it's only gonna take you higher. Imam Thug. And you ain't never gonna stop. Ain't never too much, Imam Thug. much, she love it too much.
And you are now tuned in at episode 417 of Off the Cuff Radio. That joint we just played right there is from our guest tonight. And let me tell y'all, man, I don't want to hear nothing about you young cats trying to tell these legends to hang it up, because that track right there proved that he can hang with the young gunners, the OGs, whomever you want to put on the table, man. I am your host, King Eric, and this show is sponsored by Buddy Boy Entertainment, Screwball Radio, Jesse Boutique, Core Financial, Fleetwood and the Cod Pickers, you name it. I got my host, T-Match with the facts in the building.
What to do. Another fantastic Friday night of Off the Cuff in the building. Shout out to our co-host and Spirit Lot of Sandman, Lady Chinchilla. That is King Eric being the head pilot. I'm the co-pilot, T-Max. And King, once again, we got another super magnificent stagdiliocious show, taking it back to those infamous QB Burrows. Tell everybody about our guest tonight.
Man, let me tell y'all. You heard him on War Report. You heard him do songs with Tragedy Khadafi, the Iron Sheiks EP. You heard him on the QB Finest joint. He's done a whole lot of songs with a lot of your favorite MCs from QB. He's been putting it down for almost 20-plus summers, if not longer than that. But here to discuss what he's doing lately, his come up, his journey, his grind, to where he's bossed up today and still delivering the dope music that we all appreciate. What's all welcome? IMAM THUG, y'all.
Yeah. Check it, yo.
Yes, sir.
Peace and blessings, my brothers. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, man. The incredible Iman. What it do, man? Great to have you with us.
Oh, man, thanks for having me, man. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here, man. I really appreciate it. That's a whole fact. Yeah.
Definitely. Look, like King said,
man,
you've been holding...
intro.
Yeah, man.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's that work right there.
Yeah, man. Look, Iman, like King said, man, you've been holding it down for 20-plus summers with bars harder than the riots at Attica, being up against the wall, man. I mean, you know, you're a living legend representing the projects, man. I mean, you know, like you said, you got a story to tell, man. I guess we get right to it. Tell us a little about yourself, you know, your history, how you got in, because we got a lot to get to.
Absolutely, man. Well, you know, shit, man, growing up in Queensbridge, man, you know, young, things like that, man, I was never really into being an MC. You know what I'm saying? Me being an MC wasn't really what I was into. You know, I was into the streets like a lot of other, you know what I'm saying, young homies, you know, coming from the projects, from QB in particular. And, you know, I was just looking for a way to, you know, to kind of stay off the street a little bit, things like that, man. And Tragedy, you know what I'm saying? You know, Tragedy, man, my good friend Trash, you know, man, my childhood homie. He wanted to contribute to me being off of the street, man. He said, yo, man, I got this going on. He was working on the War Report. And he said, yo, man, just come hang out. And he just wanted me to just, you know what I'm saying, try to find something to do other than, you know what I'm saying, you know, being out, you know, wilding up on the street and stuff like that. And that was that worked for me. So I started working like the street team and stuff like that.
Definitely. Now, one thing about it, yeah, man. Go ahead, King, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was acknowledging that, like, that's live because, you know, you coming from Queensbridge, and that's a line, it's like a legacy of spitters coming out there, and you get your start. Like, who was your musical inspirations in doing this?
Oh, man, I mean, Man, my musical inspiration, man, goes from deep, man. I mean, you talking about, like, you know, I witnessed Craig G get his first record deal when we was, like, in junior high school, man. That was mind-blowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, seeing tracks, like, you know, coming to himself as an MC, you know what I'm saying, was mind-blowing. You know, Marley Marl, you know, everybody, MC Shan, even Nas, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knew that Nas could spit, man. He came out of nowhere. Like, the people on his block, I guess, in his immediate circle knew, like Wiz and you know, God Bless Airwell and stuff like that, Jungle, they knew, but most of the project didn't know how nice that son was. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the inspiration came from everybody. I think everybody was inspired by one another. But what really inspired me overall was one day me and Traj was going to Platinum Island to go see Havoc to get a beat for the War Report album. And when we walked in there, yeah, man, when we walked in there, I saw, like, you know what I'm saying, all the homies, man. I saw, like, Godfather. You know, everybody was in there writing and stuff. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on, son? You know, and son looked at me like, oh, it's pop. I was like, the murder music shit was banging. I was like, yo, what's really happening there? So that's when I started to, like, really realize, like, you know what I'm saying, like, all my homies was really, you know what I'm saying, was really tapping in. You know, they was really tapping in. You had the Mob, you had the infamous Mob tapping in, you know. Then you had, you know, Traj, of course, you know, and Molden singing in. And I guess it was, like, really, like, only right for me to, like, come from that, man. You know, it was right for me to contribute what I thought I had to offer, you know.
Definitely. Now, Imam, when you look at QB, arguably in the hip-hop hierarchy of royalty, QB probably stands, if not at the top three of most influential. When it basically reads like a damn all-star Hall of Fame greatest ever list of the MCs. I mean, we're talking about Lakey the Kid. You know, we're talking about Foul Monday. We're talking about V12, Nas.
Fact. You know,
Tragedy,
the Black Sinatra. Let's be clear. Hold on, let's back up. V12, the Black Sinatra.
Yeah, man, the Black Sinatra of the Hood. I mean, Roxanne Shante, MC Shan, a good friend of ours we've had on the show a couple of times. You know, Godfather, Infamous Mob, Big Twin. I mean, all of them. I mean, did you, coming up, Dunn, I mean, you know, with the Dunn language, I mean, Dunn, did you know at the time, did all of you realize from the nascent beginnings of what y'all were doing, kicking it out there in the Q Borough, man? Shout to 41st and 40 side. Did you all know what you all had? Yeah, did you all know what y'all had there in terms of what you all would eventually become, making this incredible, indelible print on not only the music but influencing the culture in general?
I don't think so, man. I think that we was just, you know what I'm saying, we was just living. You know what I mean? I think that everybody was just living, and everybody was spitting their reality bars on how they saw life in Queensbridge through their own eyes. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody, you know what I'm saying, got their own story. You can hear things from, you know, different people from Queensbridge, and it'll hit you different ways. That's why when they hear Imam Thug, and when they hear this new body of work I got coming out with this Immortal Legend project, you know what I'm saying, that shit's going to be, like, super, because it's, you know what I'm saying, it's something different. You know what I mean? It's from the projects, but it's still something different.
Hey, you know what, though? I wanted to ask you this, though, because, you know, we're going back to the War Report time period when you guys was recording that album. And I always had this question here. I want to ask one of you guys that was affiliated with that album, like, the song you was featured on, Driver's Seat. Was that really Busta Rhymes getting hyped up in there, or y'all just had somebody else on there? Because he wasn't credited at all.
Nah, that was really Busta. That was really him, man. I mean, actually, you know, I picked the phone up when Busta called. Man, Nori was in the booth, and me and Traj was in the studio, and Busta called, and I picked the phone up. You know what I'm saying? Boom. But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? When Busta came up, you know what I'm saying, Traj, you know what I'm saying, was like, yo, I just need you to do the ad-libs on the end. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what Traj asked him to do, and that's what he did. And that's, you know what I'm saying, that's what that was. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing more than that, but it was still added to, you know what I'm saying, he sprinkled, you know what I'm saying, he sprinkled some flavor on there, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what Traj, you know what I'm saying, that's what he did. That's what he does. You know? That's what I learned also. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to sprinkle a little flavor on that, on your food.
Yeah, because that brought some extra energy to that track there. I mean, I was just curious to know because I was like vibing to the joint, then I hear Busta coming on, and you know we being music heads, we looking at the credits, and we like, yo, where this dude at? How you just jump on the track?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't designed like that. You know what I'm saying? It was designed a certain way. You know, I picked the track. You know, we were going through tracks, man. You know, I was listening to a lot of different songs that Nachi Merrick was playing, and I picked that beat. I took it home. I wrote it. I wrote the chorus. I wrote my verse. We went back to the studio the next day. I laid it, and then Islam God heard it. You know what I'm saying? And he automatically, jumped into his, whole matrix with it. You know, and that's what makes everything work too. Everybody just do what they do. You know what I'm saying? As artists and shit like that in the camp, and that's what makes the shit pop. You know what I mean? You know, and then Busta was just an added flavor to the end. You know, just a little added flavor for the fans and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That worked for everybody. Yeah, salute to Busta Rhymes too, man. That's a fact. Salute to Busta Boss, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing him getting his flowers because of that ELE 2 album was crazy. Like
that's the whole fact.
About you guys,
absolutely.
What's dope about what you guys are bringing to the table is one of the songs that you was featured on with Traj, the Illuminati song.
Yeah.
Us being down south there, that just hit us different, man.
Yeah. You're not the only ones. I hear that a lot, man. Across the planet, I hear a lot of people get that same vibe and that same energy, man. You know, and that just lets me know that Salute is dealing with some high potent, potion. You know what I'm saying? Which is still there. You know what I'm saying? We all got the potion. Everybody got their own potion. You know what I'm saying? CNN got their potion. You know what I'm saying? Salute. You know what I'm saying? The CNN. Chad got his potion. Imam Thug got his potion. You know, so yeah, it's all good shit.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing about it, man, in terms of how y'all move, QB has just always been known for just being unapologetic and the real, man. I mean, when you really got to writing in terms of really getting serious about it, like, tell us about the first rhyme that you wrote and just what it was like actually going into the studio in terms of like really laying down those lyrics.
Wow. Well, for me, like I learned how to write and rhyme like at a rapid pace. You know, more so than the usual artist would learn. So I kind of like you know what I mean. I compressed it, so I kind of still had a lot to learn. But being that I was so compressed, it came out at the time that it came out. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but let me try to elaborate a little bit more. My first round was called All We Love Is the Chrome. You know what I'm saying? That was me, Tragedy, and Capone, produced by Stretch Armstrong. That was the same time that, I don't even think anybody ever heard that record before, but that was around the same time we was doing LA and all that shit was coming out. Me, Tragic, Capone did a song called All We Love Is the Chrome. You know what I'm saying? Official. But then, I started, doing other shit. We started doing more of the Iron Sheik shit, man, Tragedy, and different things like that. And, more of the freestyles, the Tony Touch freestyles, DJ Clue, the DJ Clue with Mace and everybody, So, yeah, when they put me in that song with Mace, I was only rhyming for 90 days, when they threw me in that mix like that. So, I stay ready. It don't matter. I stay ready for whatever the mission is. I've always been that way.
Now, speaking of the mission, when you talk about you doing the LA sessions, we all know about how that situation kind of was triggered. What was the feeling around New York around that time when that whole situation, with the Dog Pound and everything, when pretty much all of that situation was really just kind of not so much at its apex, but when there was kind of those tensions going on at the time?
Well, things, the energy was up. The energy was up. The air was thick, of course. There was a lot going on with a lot of, East Coast, West Coast, of course, things jumping off with Nas and Tupac. And, that word came back to the hood, too. We was like, the hood was like, yo, what's the vibes? You know what I mean? So we always made to hold the hood down. That's what we do. We take care of one another. That's what we originated as a community. Queensbridge is a community, overall. But the air was thick, man. It was just all about just, holding down our holding down our area, man. Holding down New York, holding down our area. And I just came home from up north, so, for the second time, so Chad just basically telling me this is what's going on. So, we just shooting a video, just being in our natural form, man, throwing bodies in the trunk off the bridge, just being in our natural state, man, in regards to just displaying that on the screen, in a video form for people to see. And it was just a lot of fun.
And what's wild about that time, too, what's wild about that time as well was there was no internet. Like, anytime that you seen that person, it was on. It was no talking.
Yeah.
It was going to knuckle up or throw down.
That's a whole fact. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. It was a beautiful time, man. We had a great time, man. I was young, as an artist and different things like that, but I had a great time, creating the songs and all of the classics that people know, that they know me from, like the True Confessions, the Illuminati, the Driver's Seat, the Thug Planet on the War Report 2. That was the first single off of there with War Report 2. I'm very proud to be a part of that, and have delivered for them, on that project, So I take all my missions, very, very, very important, man. It means a lot to me. All my work means a lot to me.
Well, one thing about it, man, is to see you, over 20 years later still put in the work, man, and, to watch your IG and to see you living your best life and really enjoying yourself, man. I mean, this is part of what we do with the show in terms of really wanting to give respect, and honor to those. I mean, because it's, how does it feel to be a distinguished veteran in the game in terms of still being relevant, still keeping it raw like Uncut Bolivian, and to still, be able to, just do it at a high level and still have those fans out there, just saying how much they love and appreciate your work?
Well, for me, to be totally honest with you, I feel like I've been incubated. Like I've been in a time capsule for a period of time. You know what I mean? So, me coming out right now and being able to transcend my music and transcend my style, in real time, is something that I'm here for. I'm just here for it. It's like I don't have to do it, but I'm here for it. I'm here to deliver. I'm here to step up to the challenge, So, yeah, I've been in a time capsule for quite some time. I haven't been able to really express myself in an art form freely the way I've wanted to, So right now I feel like I'm able to do that. And, yeah, man, I'm just like right where I started from. I feel like with an extra booster shot, so to speak.
Definitely. Now, when you look at the game,
it's part of my immortality, man. It's part of my immortality concept. How you can,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's where the immortality concept comes from. Immortal legend and all that comes from, where people deem you dead, but you still come back and, you come back in a different form, man, and you elevate. Yeah, that's what immortality is. That's the immortal legend right there. That's the IMAM THUG right now, where he's at right now.
Yeah, I mean. And your name, evokes leadership, and power in terms of, transitions and all that.
Yes.
From where you started back in the day, where do you see hip-hop different from in terms of the rhyme styles to fashion to even street notoriety? Because, my brother King, he's 37, I'm 43. We are older, but we're not old. We're children of the culture. So we've watched these paradigm shifts over the years in terms of how the game has changed through through how it has been marketed, through how the rhyming is, through social media, how people portray themselves. You as an artist, how have you seen the game change from those elements of marketing, style, and reputation among artists, as well as the business?
Well, for one, business is always business, and I think that should always be put in the forefront, you know. And besides the art form, you know, since the art always should be, there should be no price on the art. The art should always be a free form, in my opinion. But the business has to be handled accordingly because this is the music business, you know what I mean? So if you're not doing business accordingly, then you may be doing yourself an injustice, in my opinion. So, you know, if you gotta adjust the music business like you would adjust any other business. You know, I adjust this project, this Immortal Legend project and contract that I'm under, like I would address any other contract that I will be under on any other my other firms. That's, you know, so yeah, the business is serious. But as far as the art form goes, I think, you know, wherever we take it. You know, I think the art form goes wherever we take it. But for me personally, you know, there's a message involved in the whole pursuit of success. You know, the whole pursuit of success, there's a message involved in that in regards to IMAM THUG.
Absolutely.
You know, and that message is, you know, that message is being self-sufficient. That message is economic empowerment. You know what I'm saying? And how do we, you know, obtain the information we need to, you know, get there. That's what I've also learned outside of doing music is how to be self-sufficient in the corporate world. You know, there's a lot of information that we're not privy to that, you know, that goes, you know, untouched. You know, our people don't even get to touch the money because we don't even know that it's there.
Right.
You know,
right.
so it's a lot of different things like that I want to tap into with the people once they start to gravitate more to, you know, to me. Then I can have the opportunity to open up and inform them a little bit more about some of these opportunities.
Yeah,
man.
I
understand how important that really is. Like, we live in an information age, and it just seems like we live in an information age where information could be found within the press of a Google button or a button. It just seems like people dumber than ever.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes, man, the most tangible things be right in front of our face, but we just don't see it because we're just not, you know, we're not aware what to look for. So there's a lot of things that's in front of our face that we can't identify because we don't know what to look for. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Because,
you know what I'm saying? If you're not aware of
yeah, it does make sense. Like you having plate of food in front of you, got to know what's healthy for you. And some
information is power.
Got to mix the food with the medicine.
Or the food is the medicine.
Yeah, and I mean it's about how you nourish yourself in terms of knowledge.
The food is the medicine. If you take in certain kind of food, that serves as medicine to your body. You understand? That's the science. That's the science behind, you know what I'm saying, juicing and other diet, you know, dietitian practices that people use to keep diseases off of them. Man, it's through what they consume in their body. The plants, you know what I'm saying, the seeds and the berries and all of that shit is important for your body, man. Your mechanism, your fights diseases and all of that kind of stuff. But it's information. If you don't know what to look for.
Right.
When you become aware, you can prevent certain diseases. You can prevent certain things. You know what I'm saying? From harboring on your body to help you be more preserved.
Definitely, and one thing about it, man, I mean, one thing about it in terms of the diet as well as what you eat, music diet is also important too, because when we look at where the era we came up in, you know, I mean, you all just had shit. We was, even as young shorties, we was growing up, we was like, yo, I mean, and this is not being an old man screaming at the sky about the new generation doesn't know about real hip-hop, but we're just blessed that we grew up in an era that we did in terms of having you all really, just really laying down a foundation in terms of dope. You know, there was a legacy behind it. I mean, and to see all of you still doing it. I mean, Nas, becoming a businessman. I
Yes.
mean, can't forget my man Littles. Shout out to Littles.
That's
Rest
a
in
fact.
peace, Taheem. Rest in peace, Taheem, man, who was a
Rest
movie
in
director
power.
with equal standard. Yeah, man. I mean,
That was my brother, man. We grew up since little boys.
Yeah. That hit me like a rock, man, when I heard about it. Because of course, I've known Littles for some years now. Great dude, solid as they come. We were
solid
actually
as they come.
Yeah, we were actually trying to get Taheem on the show. I had correspondence with him, and we were trying to work out the logistics to have him on because we wanted to talk about his film interests in terms of him directing and, him moving forward, in terms of just the endeavors, because you all have such a story. I mean, the genius that has come out of those Burbos, man. I mean, how have y'all been holding up after that, after his passing? How have y'all been?
It hasn't been easy. I can tell you that. It definitely hasn't been easy. We deal with a lot of death in Queensbridge, man. A lot of we've been dealing with death since we've been little kids, man. Man, and unfortunately, and this one right here definitely hit home, particularly for me. And I felt the pain for Littles, of course, because I know Littles too. We know each other extremely well, and yeah, man, it's a different kind of pain. I'm on the phone with Taheem not too long ago. Him and I building on the phone, and he's spitting a lot of math and things like that. So yeah, it definitely hasn't been easy. But what I do know is that we're gonna represent for Tata. We're gonna represent his ambition. We're gonna represent his will and his drive and determination to live his dream. We're gonna represent that spirit for sure. That's why I put that little clip on it. That's why I put that little clip on the back of my video too for checking. Yo. We had just finished the video right before, right after that happened. The video was in the editing room. I was like, yo, man, you gotta throw this in here. Period. So I sent the shit back. I sent the whole video back. I was like, don't, put him in there at the end, and then bring it back to me, and so I can finalize that. So. That's all. Just respect, man.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to what you was talking about taking ownership, and because with ownership you control your imagery, you control the stories, and that brother, man,
yes.
That movie he put out about the NYPD, that was heavy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But that that was the Taheem. Taheem definitely, Taheem was very ambitious, brother, man. You know what I mean? He's very ambitious, man. He got that's a brother who, he got dreams, or he got an idea of what he wants to do, and he'll go out and he'll do it. You know what I mean? That's who he is, So, yeah, I was very proud of him, man. I told him that. I told him I was very proud of him, very happy for him, man. And he said to me, he's like, yo, I hear that all the time, but it feels good hearing it from you. I was like, no doubt, son. I was like, no doubt, son. So, yeah, that's a childhood homie, man. I'm just so happy for him, man, and I'm still happy for him. I'm going to continue to be happy for him, man, because, he did something great, man. And, he got a lot of other filmmakers in Queensbridge that, are inspired by his work, that's for sure. Let's see how we can help, push them also to their dreams, man. Because that's where that's what he would want to, man. That for someone to be inspired and see them flourish, man. Taheem ain't a selfish dude.
Yeah,
he was not a selfish guy.
Yeah, and even then, even before the Equal Standard came out, man, I still remember. And finally, after some years, a couple of years ago, I finally saw Murder Music because for the longest, in the hood we had heard about it, but it's I'm still waiting on that soundtrack. I was still because it was the movie was of an urban legend because of course I still have the rest in peace to Bandana P. I have that Source magazine from 2000 when he was on the cover, and this is when they were talking about it at the time, and about the movie, that he was doing. And it's like, it was, this is before social media. This is before all that. So it's like we were still like really just, we were like, we were like, yo, like, where is it? We want to see it. It came out some years later, but it was like we seen it and was like, it really, but to see all of QB repping like they did, man, of course, Alchemist, of course, Mob, Nas made it, Chinky was in it, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So many, man.
Absolutely,
it's like,
absolutely.
And this was just, and the tradition has been carried on. Now, we got to take it back a little bit, because MC Shan was just, he had King and myself cracking up about the story behind the QB compilation. Before we get to that story about how they drug him and threw him in the van and made him come to the studio.
It can get a little tricky.
What was that like for y'all in terms of how did that idea for that album to come together? Because because we were blessed within a year of getting 2 banging-ass compilations. Of course, Nas with QB's Finest, and, of course, Lakey the Kid with the 41st side. How did it come together from y'all in for the QB's Finest compilation?
Well, the QB Finest compilation, I believe it came out on Violator, man. I believe, I think it was me and Capone N Noreaga. We were in the studio, and I think that Nori was like, yo, we got to do this joint, boom, 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 for the compilation, so forth and so on. So he was like, all right, cool, so the beat came up, and we were just vibing, man. That's similar like what we do. Like, we kind of like get in a huddle, and, we just come up with different concepts, man, and, and the shit just happens, man, That's what we do, man. A lot of times if you see me in a picture with Capone N Noreaga in the studio, we probably huddled up together because we're working on a song. You know what I'm saying? So the QB Finest song, Our Way, was dope. We put it together, all 3 of us put it together, man, and shit was, came out hot. And it was just a good look for Nas. It was just something, for Esco to present, for Esco to represent for his project and shit like that, man. Whenever we on somebody's shit, we always want to represent, especially if they, if they from QB and shit like that. If Nas asks me to do something, I'm gonna give him that work. You know what I'm saying? Anybody from Queensbridge, I'm gonna give him the work. Absolutely. That's just how we
still
take
amazed
things,
to see. But to see all of y'all, especially in that time, come together, because one thing about it, when we look at features nowadays, it just seems to be so rushed together with some of these artists out here. But, when we think about video appearances back in the day and, features on albums, it's like, there was a time when we would see like, yo, they got such and such on. Like, it really felt like it was a real coming together of it. And to see all of y'all, what was those sessions like, just sitting with everybody, just watching this album come together? With Littles, yourself, Cormega, Mobb Deep, Roxanne Shante, Shan, the Bravehearts, all Jungle. What was it like just for that whole era?
Oh man, I think it was just basically iconic, man. But one thing, for us, it's really not, it's not really a, not to play it down or anything like that, but it's really not a big deal for me to be with Jungle. Like, if me and Jungle chilling, we in the lab, we just 2 niggas from Queensbridge, you know what I'm saying? No, man, on our Queensbridge shit doing what we do. It's not, we don't really see it the way the rest of the world see it. And it's the same way with Nas, it's the same way with Shantae, even with Hot Day, I'm on the phone with Hot Day. It's just like we just 2 niggas from Queensbridge, just, in our, on our QB shit. And it's just, I don't know, it's just the beautiful essence, of Queensbridge, man. It's undescribable, man. You know what I'm saying? It's undescribable, man. We got that connection between us all, and it's a lot of love there, and it's a lot of talent there, and when we come together, it's nothing but magic that can come from that.
I think of the way you guys
see it,
you guys see it as you guys just doing it with your homeboys and just people that you already knew. It was just regular business at the office.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what I mean. It's not the same for us as it's everybody else, man. It's it's when I'm in the studio with Godfather, you know, I knew Godfather for a long time. Like we all knew each other for our whole lives. Nas know Imam Thug for his whole life. You know what I'm saying? Jungle know Imam Thug for his whole life. All these guys know me. We all know each other, so we're not amazed when we're around one another. We just enjoy being around one another and having that QB, you know what I'm saying, camaraderie around one another, man, and just doing what we do the QB way. That's the energy right there.
Yeah, and one thing about it, man, and it's wild because, you all have a real organic bond because of all of you coming together from the sandbox. So it's like, it's like y'all all hit the hood lottery at the same time because it's like everybody, it's a whole block. Yeah, all of y'all become big. And not only big, but like you all become legends in the process. Of course I can't, forget my man LES. Shout out DJ LES, man. A good friend of mine as well. Yeah.
LES is family, man. Yeah, me and LES, LES, we know each other very well. Everybody know each other very well, man. That's a whole fact.
Yeah. So in terms of it,
now with y'all coming together with that, not with that compilation, but when y'all do songs, do y'all have like that whole competitive energy as well? Because that's the difference between the 90s and now. Like everybody had to bring their best A game to the mix when they would start writing or putting down songs. Did y'all have that kind of competitive atmosphere?
I think it's always competitive. I think Queensbridge, we have a competitive spirit naturally, However, I think it's more of everybody just getting an opportunity to just lay their shit down. You know what I mean? I don't even think it's too much of a competition. I just think of everybody, a lot of dudes is nice in their own way, and everybody's just having the opportunity to just lay their shit down. It ain't even no competition. These niggas is nice. A lot of niggas is nice. Everybody's confident in what they do, and we just laying it down. I think that's really what it is through my eyes. That's how I see it. I don't see, when I'm on a record with anybody that they in a competition with me. When I'm on a record with V12, he's not in a competition with Imam Thug. He's coming to do V12. You know what I'm saying? Imam Thug is not in competition with V12. I'm coming to do Imam Thug. And just us being from Queensbridge make the shit just what it is. And it's the same thing with CNN. I'm not in competition with Capone. I'm not in competition with Nori. We just all coming to lay our shit down. And that shit is just what the fuck it is. And it's with Trash, too. There's no competition with me and Trash. Trash come to do what he do. Imam come to do what he does. And the shit is just what it is. We just have what we have. We got a lot of combustible energy, within the camp, pretty much, Queensbridge as a whole.
Yeah. One thing about it with Trag, you and Trag, especially what y'all done, the whole Iron Sheiks thing, I remember going back to like 98, 99, in terms of listening to Thug Paradise, of course, Bing Monsters, with Against All Odds, it was going to come Against All Odds. That didn't drop till 2001, though, but all of you were pretty much doing y'all thing during that time, man. Tell us about how that Iron Sheiks project, began to develop.
Well, the Iron Sheik project started to develop after the War Report. Like when we started winding down on the War Report, we started to think about like what was next. You know what I mean? As far as me and Trash, like, all right, so what's next? So what's next? It was like, okay, well, let's do this. Let's do the we're gonna do the Iron Sheik thing. That was the next thing. We started working on songs like Illuminati and True Confessions and stuff like that. Those are the first two songs that was recorded for that EP. And they just went through the roof. Those two records alone went through the roof. We didn't even get a chance to record the whole EP. We just did the two records were recorded. They just took off.
Yeah. And this is like a time, Imam, where, you know, like King said, and like I be saying, this is before social media, so this is like when the mixtape circuit is heavy. You know, DJ Clue, Ron G, Kid Capri, you know, all of them, Craig G. So it's like, you know, this is like a big thing, like, you know, when you're hearing, like, it's just a certain exclusivity because you know it's not necessarily released to the public in terms of, like, it's not in wide circulation. So when you hear it and you're getting a taste of what's coming, I mean, it just felt different back in the day. I mean, to hear this and you're like, this is what's coming, and we're like, oh, when we heard True Confessions for the first time, we were like, oh.
Right. Yeah.
We were like,
damn. Yeah, we hear that. I hear that all over the planet, man. All across the globe, I hear that. I get that same response. People really were very receptive to that song, and that's why when I did check a Yo Yo Yo, you know, I wanted to, like, you know what I'm saying, kind of like bring some of that energy to kind of remind people of you know what I'm saying, of who I was, but still transcend the music to right now, so it doesn't, you know what I'm saying, sound like, you know, something that came from the 90s, but people can actually be familiar with it. You know, so yeah, it was just that type of vibe I wanted to bring with that first record and different things like that. But this Immortal Legend project got so much, you know what I mean? There's so much on this project, man, that is artistically, man, you know, man.
Tell us about it. Take us through the process of what you did in terms of what inspired you in the process in creating it.
Well, what inspired me to create this new project was just the fact that, you know, I felt that I had to really solidify my stake in hip hop. I think that it was slipping away. I said, for some reason, I thought, you know, I just felt like it was getting away from me a little bit. So I said, you know what? Let me just grab a hold of this real quick and just make sure that I can, you know, put an official stamp on my presence here. You understand? I didn't want it to be just, you know what I'm saying, a guy who just, you know, who was just here and was just went. I wanted to be someone who came here and left a stamp on his game. You know what I'm saying? Not just from the work that I did before, but from the work that I got right now. So that was my challenge, to come, you know what I'm saying, was to bring my best body of work right now that was going to deliver, you know, what I felt was going to be suffice, you know what I'm saying, for the hip-hop community where they can be, you know, they can be good with it.
Yeah. And I think that's important right now, too, especially when we hear, you know, I was listening to Conway's EP, Lulu, and I was listening to the joint, you know, him and Cormega did. You know, they got Sunny. You know, and I was thinking about Cormega's verse when he said, I'm hearing so many, basically, I'm paraphrasing, I'm hearing a lot of new verses, but I'm unimpressed, you know, and it's like, you know, and when we think about it today, where there are a lot of artists out there doing a lot of dope shit that's really still burning it up out there, you know, we see a lot of artists coming out where they really don't sound inspired, it's not much creative flow, it's no spirit, and it's individuals like, you know, a lot of times there's more followers and impersonators and originators and creators. And, you know, this crux of hip-hop, that's what it's all about, being original and self-expression. Pretty much what have you seen over the years in terms of how the game has changed, in terms of how artists do music and in terms of, you know, the images they try to portray? Because back in the day, man, you know, and we've been blessed to the hundreds of guests we've had on the show. We talked to them from up north, down south, out west. Having a street reputation is something that back in the day, you know, like I said, once again, before social media, this was something that pretty much you were known on the block without the cameras.
Right.
You know, now everybody wants to be a tough guy on camera. Now everybody done sold drugs. Everybody the biggest hitman out there. But back in y'all time, like, it really carried some weight that, you know, I mean, rest in peace to Ill Will, you know, Kung Fu Joe.
Absolutely.
You know, all of them out there, you know, of course, Lakey. I mean, these individuals, you know, Killer Black, rest in peace. You know, all of them were like real G's out there, man. how do you feel about how everybody's trying, some of these artists, because some of them are real as they come, but the ones that are maybe exaggerating or outright faking, what do you feel today from that?
What I feel is that you got to watch the exaggerators too, man. The guys who exaggerate and try to make believe, or the guys who you know what I'm saying, have the biggest to prove. They have, you know what I mean? So don't ever sleep on the exaggerators and the guys that are out there trying to make believe, man, because those are the guys that take the biggest risk because they feel like they have a lot to prove. So that's number one. We don't sleep on those guys, you know. And you know,
that's
today,
real.
That's a whole fact. So today we know that we're dealing with a different genre of mind states, and people are moving, you know, in a lot of different directions, and there's a lot of different moving parts and different things like that, and especially in the music and how the images are all being portrayed may not be, you know, saying to my liking, and you know, in particular, but it is what it is, man. You know, the music cycle turns. It makes its turns. The shit ain't gonna never stay in one space. It's gonna consistently turn and makes its turns. It's up to the artist to make their adjustments accordingly without compromising. You know what I'm saying? You know, without compromising too much of their artistry. You can't agree with everything. You know what I mean? There's gonna be shit that come out. These are things that came out in the '90s that we didn't agree with. You know, that
right.
A lot of goofy guys came out and with some lot of goofy shit. We was like, yo, what is this shit, man? But, you know, yeah, it's just is another version of that. Today, I think, is another version of a lot of goofy motherfuckers running around saying and doing a lot of fucking goofy shit.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't mean to be too crazy with the profanity and all that, but I'm just trying to be
good.
I'm being blatant with it, you know?
No, good. No. We have no censors on this show. We are totally self-funded. Say whatever say whatever you feel.
I was gonna say, y'all thinking back to the whack acts of the '90s. I was hinged with Ice Baby and all that.
Right.
But
yeah.
And you know one thing though, Imam, I mean, when we talk about it, and I'm not trying to stir up a hornet's nest here, a lot of this stuff has already been documented in terms of where you got rap beefs. We know in QB there were differences between certain artists there, but, you know, the worst of it from what we saw, there was never any, you know, even when Nas and Cormega had their problems, they spit about it on wax, but you never really got the impression it was going to go to a street level. In terms of that, you know, they had their, you know, there was a disagreement that they had, but there was never a situation where it got like that. But now you seem to have artists out here that are almost desperate to get out there on suicide missions in terms of things and really try to invite something. Do you believe life and death is in the tongue in terms of where these artists try to talk a certain talk but can't walk the walk when the timbos start falling on them?
Yeah, I believe that. But, you know, that's nothing new. That's old math. You know? That's old math. You always had guys getting chased to the building and run upstairs and pop shit from the window.
Right.
That ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, do I expect that? Yeah, I do expect that. Because you're always going to have, you know what I'm saying, or real G's, you're going to have suckers doing sucker shit, and that's going to always be around. I think it just boils down to the individual, you know what I'm saying, and how they, you know what I'm saying, how they handle things, man. You know, that's what I think. It boils down to the individual, how they handle things, whether it be in the artistry or in the personal, man. It's all about how we handle shit.
Definitely. So who do you feel?
And,
I was
gonna ask you, you know, and going back to your up and coming release, man. Are you gonna do like what a lot of these cats is doing? You gonna shoot the video for every song? Or we need like a mini movie on wax, man.
Yes, we do.
Well, that's exactly what we're doing. You know, like we are shooting.
Okay.
You know, we are shooting videos to all of our songs on the LP. You Yeah, we have our director and everybody under contract for the LP. So, but it's not just music videos. We have, if you watch the first video, check a Yo Yo Yo, and you watch the storyline on how we got that jumping off, then you'll be able to follow it from there on where we take it. So if you haven't seen the video, you need to really hit the link in my bio, check the video out, and actually see, the acting and the plots and different things that we got, going on with that whole play right there.
Definitely. Is it going to be a strictly digital release, or are y'all going to do limited physicals as well?
It's definitely going to be a digital release on all platforms, but we definitely going to have physical copies and different things like that for people to buy. That's for sure. We already got a lot of merch at the merch shop on our IG page. People can go on our IG page and view the shop. They can get all the Imam Grizzly clothing, get on their Grizzly. The Immortal Legend gear is there. All of that good stuff is there. The single is out on all platforms right now. People can download and stream that, add it to their playlist right now as we speak. And we got 2 different versions to the single, man, that's coming out also, man. We got the house mix to check it, Yo Yo Yo. We got the hip hop mix also, done by my man DJ Blends. And it's just a different way of putting out music, man. We putting out a record, but we also putting out different versions of the record also. So it gives people a different, a diverse option, for the music.
That's dope, man. Now, how do you feel about how physicals, in terms of physical copies on albums, marketing in general? Because, stuff we used to take for granted in terms of CDs and tapes back in the day, you can look on eBay and see how expensive some of that stuff is now.
Right.
What is your, I was looking online for a Nas's Illmatic on a cassette, the original 94 press. That thing's going for $100 right now on cassette.
See, that's more. Yeah, that's more. I think that's more of a. That's more of a merch, not a merch situation. Technically it is a merch situation, but it's more what do you call it when you go and you get a memorabilia type of deal. You know what I'm saying? It's people get it just to have. People will get something from the Immortal Legend project just because they want to. They want to have something that's from that journey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. And they want to get something that costs $100 from Illmatic. They buy something that's from that journey. That's why they're paying for that. The people that is on this journey, on this Immortal Legend journey, they're gonna buy an Immortal Legend hoodie with the front cover on it because it's part of the journey. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why they buy it. They're gonna buy one of the Grizzly bandanas that we have in the video. Why? Because that shit looks cool and it's part of the journey. You know what I mean? So that's why people get this memorabilia. That's why people got War Report stuff still. People still got shit from the War Report. I still got stuff from the War Report. I still got posters from War Report too. It's memorabilia. Even though I'm a part of that movement, but I still got memorabilia. I still got my rhyme books, man, from fucking True Confessions and Driver's Seat. I still got that shit.
Looking back on it, how does it feel to know you've reached so many, and to when you look back at those, because like you said, it's part of that that immortal journey. I mean, what is it? Just when you think back around that time to 97, 2000, 2001, and just now, reflecting. I mean, how does that feel? Just when you think about the journey of how far you've come, where you're at, and where you're still going.
Well, man, I feel empowered. I feel empowered because I've learned so much. I've learned so much about different aspects of the operation. And when I was so young, I knew nothing. So when you know nothing, that means you have a whole lot to learn. We always got a lot to learn, but when you know nothing, you have a lot to learn. Right now, I've learned so much over the journey of my time. I feel empowered and I feel confident, Absolutely. that's why I'm doing my best work right now. I can do songs like The Dream, you know, Legendary Candle. You know, when people start hearing these songs come out, when they start hearing these songs come out off this project, it's going to be something like they've never heard before, man. They wouldn't expect this from IMAM THUG. That's a fact. They wouldn't think I could do it, basically, you know, some people.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, when I initially hit you on your page, man, I was just scrolling through everything and just seeing, you know, not only feeling so good that, you know, that for the culture you're doing it, but you just really seem to be in such a enlightened and such a very happy place, man, in terms of we can really look at your joints and see how much you're enjoying it, like the very first day you decided to commit yourself to it. What is that exhilaration, that emancipation, you know, the notoriety of knowing that you have not only achieved but you have surpassed? What is that exhilaration? What type of emotions do you feel on the daily, knowing that you know you're still in a place of that creativeness where you know every day you wake up you're motivated, you know, to move past the margins?
Oh man, I think I'm just thankful, man. I'm thankful to the Most High, man, just for giving me the ability to be self-motivated, man. You know, that's what it is, man. I'm self-motivated. I love to create my own opportunities. You know, I think there's great power in creating your own opportunities, you know. You're not, you know, I don't think that you should have to wait for someone to give you an opportunity where you can create your own, you know, if that may be the case, you know.
That part.
If that may be the case, you create your own opportunities. Great things come from that. I've learned that from, you know, being in business and different things like that. So, yeah, man, I'm just happy, man, that I have the gift. You know, I don't think that it's a skill. I don't think it's a talent. I think that it's a gift, and I'm blessed to be able to have it, man. You know, and I'm gonna share it with the world. You know, that's what it's here for.
Hey, you know what?
Definitely,
you know
man.
what's also dope while we talking about appreciation and the people getting appreciating their flowers. Regardless of how people feel about it, it's a beautiful thing seeing Nori make that transition into podcasting and bringing a lot of the legends on and making
Shout out to him
Absolutely.
and F for Drink Champs, man.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Slime God, man. You already know. I congratulated him way before his show got big, man. You know the vibes.
Yeah, man. You know, I mean, you know, and to see, you know, him, of course, you know, we're going to be professional calling him Mr. Santiago, you know, to see him really move, you know.
I call him Jose Luis, though, man. That's one of my favorite areas, man. Jose Luis. I just like it when he's on this Jose Luis shit, man, when he's in the studio. That's, you know what I'm saying, that's that work right there. So, yeah, he's always Jose Luis, man, with me, man. I love him when he's on his shit like that. That's a fact. He's very dangerous, man, when he get on that shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, and to really see the transition, I mean, Nas going into business, you know, you know, Little's being a very successful, you know, manager, you know, A&R guy in terms of artists. I mean, you know, like we said, Nori, you know.
Listen, Little's is a good businessman, too. Let's be clear. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Little's is a very good businessman, too. Yes, I know. That's my boy. I know him very well. I know, you know, I have a lot of respect for Littles, man. I know, you know, how he thinks a lot of times, man. You know, and the kid is on point, man. He's always been that way. So I'm extremely proud of him.
Yeah. You know, I mean, when he, and a lot of people don't know this, so we're going to give a little bit of history for those. He's the one that actually was the first to do the first DVD/hip-hop album with the Feeding. He was the first one to do that. You know, a lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually have it. I sent him a picture some years back of it, and he was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Little
is a legend, man. Little is a legend, man. That's one of the most hardcore hustlers, man, I've ever known in my lifetime, man. That's a fact, man. You know?
Yeah, but you all have that aesthetic in terms of it. Yeah, man, just to see, the working. So when you started, take us back to when you started doing the shows in terms of like when y'all really started doing shows, rocking crowds all over the world, and just what was it like for you just really being able to see like people really respond to it?
Well, to be honest with you, man, like I've never been on tours. Like I've done like a few shows and everything, but I've never been out on tour. I've never been taken out on tour. I've heard about it. I've heard about it. I've heard the reception of my music over there, but I've never been over there. I've never been out on tour before. I've done a few tours here and there, different things like that. I guess that's why I have such a magnetic force for the stage right now. I have such a magnetic force for the stage, like for big crowds right now. That's why I'm making big music. I need that. I need that bite right there.
Definitely. What was it like when you started doing shows? I mean, say you hadn't been on tour. What was it like when you just started doing shows and performances?
Well, I started to learn how energy works. When people, I started to learn how energy works. I was definitely scared, like not scared, but I was kind of like, a little nervous about being in front of people. I'm a private guy, so, after I got over that, I started to see how energy works, And once I started to study how energy works, I started coming out with more confidence to the point to where, I'm a whole lot more confident now in front of people, on stage, in front of crowds,
Right.
Yeah, like you said, I was nervous, man. I was young, I was nervous, private guy, not used to being in front of crowds and not knowing how crowds work, I wasn't there yet.
And it takes time because you have to find your voice. Being in the public arena like you are, being an introvert at a certain level of insular, dealing with individuals who you're close with, it's kind of hard to be able to be an extrovert at that point of the show. It's like, like anything. It's like when King and myself, when King started this, I came along later with it. We were still trying to find our voice and just learn our way. But as we grew with this, we learned, and a lot of time, and really all the time, our guests really made it so much easier for us. We've always felt so blessed to do what we do because of being able. I mean, who thought that a kid from North Carolina himself and a kid from Virginia, me, we would be interviewing legends like yourself, people we grew up listening to, and really like.
That's it, man. That's how the energy works, man. I love it, man. Man, man, shout out to both of y'all brothers, man. Y'all definitely the embodiment of hip hop energy, man. It takes this energy and everything that you guys are doing, man, to bring this to where it's at right now. Not just with IMAM Thug, but everyone else that you guys have put on your platform. You guys have put that energy in place, man, and that's a big contribution to the hip hop community, in my opinion, man. I appreciate y'all for that.
And what we appreciate about yourself and others we've had on the show is that, Imam, is that, we pride ourselves on the fact that we always want to treat our guests with respect. We want to really, really, between having legends, we don't discriminate on who we've had on this show. We've had people that sold millions of records. We've had people that were just getting out there. And our thing was, we don't care. We're just happy to have you on. If we think the music is dope, we're going to have you on, and we're going to roll out the red carpet for everybody, no matter, because, so many times, especially in this era, King and myself, we talk about this on air, off there, me and my bro, we always kind of lament with certain individuals who shall remain nameless about how they have their platforms, but it's more of a clown show. It's really exploitation, but it's not real journalism. And we were like, that's our vision at Off the Cuff. We don't want to do that. We're not going to do that.
See?
Nah, we want people.
That's what it takes.
To feel appreciated. We don't want to feel interrogated.
Exactly.
Listen, man. Listen. we understand that the people want to know what the people want to know at the end of the day, man. Trust me, I get that. You know what I'm saying? I get that. So I'm not holding nothing against any journalist with any question or anything like that, because I know how to handle myself. But
right.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I get exactly what you guys are saying, and I do respect you, you know what I'm saying, for holding that standard, man, because everybody ain't got them standards.
Yeah, cause we're not some shady chasers, man. Like we ain't gonna, before the interview go on the air, we ain't gonna Mickey or nothing and have you and ask you crazy questions.
Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, son, I'm open to any questions, man. I'm serious, cause I'm like, the thing about it, Mom, I'm floating on a different, on a different time wave, man, in the sense of, you know what I'm saying, how I keep myself level and I keep myself balanced, man. And it's not based off of, you know what I'm saying, envy, malice, or none of that shit. I'm just here trying to finish up what I started.
Definitely, man. So as you keep going, who would you like to work with in terms of who you haven't worked with yet, from anywhere, up north, down south, and which movements do you feel with artists who you've seen are like really, really, really doing it big right now, who you really, really, really are enjoying?
Man. Well, shit, man. I mean, I have so many different favorite producers that I would like to work with, man. I don't even think I could say them all.
We got time. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We got time. Go ahead.
I know that Scott Storch has always been one of my favorites. I always love Scott Storch.
Yeah, that boy bad, man, on the keys.
Those keys. I love his.
I don't care what problems that dude had. He is still nice with it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Everybody has some type of problem of joint, shape, form, or fashion, man. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Everybody got some type of problem. I had some type of problem. That's for damn sure. So we can't never knock a motherfucker for having a situation. Everybody got a situation. I fuck with Scott Storch. I fuck with Dr. Dre, too. I love Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man. VA got a lot of hot talent too over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a musical guy. I think that I've come out of that one-dimensional shell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna make one type of music and that's it. Like, I'm out of that. I'm like a multi-dimensional artist right now with my artistry, man. So I'm open to all kinds of music.
And that's dope, man.
What's also dope too is the verses that's going on, and that's giving a lot of artists new light, introducing their catalogs to a new generation of people. And one verses I would love to see, and this would really set the bar right here. Got to bring a lot of security. We need to have Queensbridge versus the Bronx.
That's definitely a lot of security. That's definitely a lot of security. That's a whole lot of security right there. That's a whole lot of security.
We got to reignite the bridge wars.
Oh, man. The bridge got enough wars right now, man. That's a fact, man. We got enough wars right now. So, I think that, we just got to get back to just making high level music, just high level music, man. Not, lowering our standards musically, just holding our music artistry to higher standards. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think that, that's what I'm on. I can't speak for everybody, but that's what I'm on. I'm challenging myself to be more of a musician, more of an artist, opposed to just being a rapper, a guy who's just rapping over beats. I want to be an artist, a musician that can take any beat and make it music. You know what I'm saying? The IMAM Thug way, without losing myself or being out of character. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot of balance there, but we've obtained that balance, man. We living in the balance right now. That's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about just moving the culture forward, man. I think, and that's what's the most important because, because to be pragmatic in, the position is all about elevation. And I think where we've kind of gotten to a place where we've seen more exposure from a lot of artists, as you said, you're a very, very private guy, which is totally okay and understandable. But then we see a lot of times some people who are so eager to put themselves out there in a way that sometimes the energy they put out is not always the most positive.
Right. That's very true. That's very true. That's very true. That's very true. And a lot of people can say that about a lot of my music too. I can put a lot of music out there that might not be the most positive vibe that you can get because I'm a street guy too. At the end of the day, that is my DNA. Even though we can flip the energy and different things like that, but we still are who we are, and we still communicate to the people that communicate with us, that can understand us. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in corporate America. I've learned that, but I'm still, you know what I'm saying, this same guy. I'm still this guy. I'm still a guy from the Queensbridge, from the projects. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still that dude. So, we still have to deal with certain battles and different things like that, you know what I'm saying, to keep us balanced, man. And that comes through the music for me as a form of expression, as me expressing myself, or if I'm feeling however I'm feeling. That's what music is there for. It's a form of expression.
Do you care to
Yeah.
Do you care to tell our audience what the difference between the two worlds and dealing with corporate America and dealing with the streets?
The difference between dealing with corporate America and dealing with the streets? The difference between dealing with corporate America, when you're dealing with corporate America, you have certain guidelines and parameters that you have to, stay within. Because if you're not within those parameters, then you can become subject to, a default in business, man, where you can get your shit shut down, and you might owe money if you're not operating right. You get all jammed up, man. You got to operate the right way when you're doing business. In the streets, it ain't no rules. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no rules in the streets, man. Ain't no rules. Ain't no parameters. Ain't no guidelines in the streets. Everything's a go in the streets. That's the difference right there.
Yeah, and that's real, and I think sometimes, what you said, Imam, is real because a lot of times a lot of these artists have trouble separating their business life from the street life. How is it important when an artist coming into the game who's fresh off the block, who really, really was out there and really, with the shits in it, how important is it for them to understand the transition in terms of the different rules that apply and how to conduct yourself in a fashion that makes people comfortable doing business with you and not looking at you as a lethal liability?
You got to be ready for it. Individual got to be ready for it. You got to be ready to step into that space. Because if you're not ready to step into that space, then it's not going to happen for you. You got to be ready for it. You got to be ready to take it on. Once you submit to like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I got to do this. Then you will make sure that you do it that way because you're ready. But if you're not ready, even when you try to go that way, it's not going to work for you because you're not ready. Shit going to go left. It's just the way it is. If you're not ready for something, it's going to go left. I was prepared for this project and prepared to put this project out. That's why, I'm on a full steam ahead with it, and I got a clear vision on it. There is no going left or none of that here. We clear where we'll be going.
Yeah, and that's important because I think a lot of times, too, artists get caught up in not looking at the long game in terms of understanding, like, when you get into this is about longevity that you're trying to accomplish in reference to what you are putting forward. This is something that, when we look at it, I always tell this story on the show. I have every Source magazine since 1994. I have every Double XL from 1997. Yeah, I still have some of those. I still have those Iron Sheik advertisements that the source ran. I got to send them to you.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. Classic.
Yeah. But but it's like so I said that to say in terms of understanding how artists move in terms of how everybody gets an opportunity, how many artists get an opportunity, but not many of them always are going to have that opportunity in terms of being able to make it in the game. So we've seen, when you're talking about those magazines over years. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, but when you look at those situations, you're talking about people who at times don't always make the most of those. And when you're looking at so many rappers from everywhere, I mean, especially how hard back then it was to get out there. I mean, and now what it is now, it's like, I think a lot of artists really have to understand the position they're in terms of when you get this opportunity, once that door opens just a crack, you've got to get it right in terms of how you conduct yourself.
That's right. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And we've seen some, unfortunately over the years that, they didn't necessarily understand the gift that they had in terms of opportunities. And, some they did it and made the most of it, and some they fell, by the wayside of it. When you look at guys like Nipsey in terms of where he was, how important is it to build a local buzz in terms of your hood, really getting that stamp from you, everyone around you in terms of before you really make it to the mainstream in terms of everybody knowing your name?
Well, oh man, for me it was. I mean, I think it's important. For me it was super cool, man. A lot of people didn't even know I was IMAM THUG in the projects, man. Nobody had a clue.
Oh wow, you were anonymous.
Like, yeah. There was like IMAM THUG. Who's that? Yo, that's Kruger. They was like, Kruger's IMAM THUG. They was like, yeah. They was like, oh shit. They had no clue. So yeah, they didn't have the guys they know for a while who, yeah, man. So, I think that I got the stamp. I had the stamp of approval just being from the streets. Then when I did the music, I got the stamp of approval too, man. So it was all good, man. It was all good. You know what I'm saying? It's still all good. I still got the approval. I was in the projects the other day. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but love all day, every day, man. They know what it is. We here to represent.
And it's just dope to see how everybody, we can go back to your own hood and everybody. Like, we saw that picture of Nas, a couple of weeks ago. He just sitting out there on the beach chair out in the block and just, like, not a care in the world. Just
yeah.
That's right. That's right. We love that. We love Esco.
Man.
That's a whole fact.
But, and the one thing about it is I think that's an understated element a lot of people don't really understand, Imam, is how important it is to maintain those ties with the hood. Because when you got a lot of individuals, when you look at guys like E40, when you look at guys like Nas, when you look at guys like Jeezy, when you look at guys like Rick Ross, they can still go back to the hood and it's not a problem in terms of, like, it's just going to be an issue. Like, they can go back and just chop it up with everybody like it's like they just regular. For the pressures of celebrity, how refreshing is it sometimes to just go back home and just be that regular guy that everybody knew growing up?
It's very I'm not gonna say it's difficult, but it's very interesting, man, in the way that you want to hang out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you used to, but you really can't, but you want to, but you really can't. It's just kind of weird. It's a weird space. I didn't really understand that until, recently, but not recently, but years ago I didn't understand it, man. But I understand it more. You know what I'm saying? I understand it a little bit more now. You know what I'm saying? But, even when I went out to the bridge of the day, I go to the Ave, I go to my block, I'm chilling, but it's not like I can't chill all day. You feel me? Like, I can't chill all day and chill all night too. Like, it's just
right.
It's just not. You can't do that today like you did yesterday. Man.
Right.
Just, man, just can't do it. We got too much. We can't stay in one spot like that, like today.
Yeah, and we know what you're getting at, because a lot of artists we talked to on and off air said the same thing about it, because, we don't necessarily want to get pointed with what I'm about to say, but we just got to keep it real and off the cuff, and you know, obviously you've been able to do what you've been doing for a very long time, and you've been successful. You've made a good living out of it. And the situation, like anything, wherever you go, no matter who it is, you could have an individual who has, made hundreds of thousands in the industry. You can have an individual who's made millions of dollars in the industry. But after you get to a certain point, the utmost imperative is how to maintain your safety for you, your loved ones, and, everything. Because, of course, if you get us in trouble, lawyer fees are a bitch. Trust, we know.
Golly, it is.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, the thing is, too, man, at the end of the day, man, the streets don't love nobody. And,
right.
The trust factor is not at the highest level. And, when you consider all of those things, man, me personally, man, most times I can't even trust myself if I'm in the bridge longer than time I need to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm there for more time I need to be there, then I can't trust myself, because I might get stupid. I got to watch myself, too, just to be honest and off the cuff with it.
That's real. But that's the type of honesty and candor. That's called knowledge of self, and that's the most important, because, when people, understand who they are in terms of, because at the end of the day, you can't run away from who you are. All you do is make sure you don't put yourself in those positions where things can happen. And if you know certain places could put you in a certain frame of mind that will cause you to do something that is not, of the most safety for you or your fam, then that's what it is. I tell people, this is one thing that I will absolutely have all the convictions in the world saying. To anybody out there who's successful, you did it the right way. You don't have anything to apologize for. You don't have nothing to prove to nobody.
That's a fact.
At the end of the day, the critics don't pay your bills. Your business is what pays your bills, and that's the business you need to mind. What pays you and what keeps you out of trouble. Because man, when you got people out there that may not have...
It's easy to get into, and it's hard to get out of. That's what they say.
It is. And
that's a
what
fact.
People gotta understand.
We know all about it. Yeah, man. Absolutely. But Queensbridge is home, man. A lot of work, man. Got put in there. A lot of memories, a lot of, man, a lot of great things, man. A lot of great adventures. We got a lot of solid, ingredients, man. That got poured into us, man, from growing up there, that allowed us to be able to, make it this far, or be able to, navigate the waters that we're able to navigate against all odds and still be fruitful in our journey, because of the armor that we've obtained, out there in the field.
Yeah, man. I mean, we know about the musical history, but tell us about some of the individuals that are not known in the game out there, the street legends. Shout out some of those guys and girls that really helped shape all of you and mold you. The OGs, the gangsters and the gangsterettes. Living and dead, past and present. Tell us about some of those people out there that helped raise y'all.
I mean, you had guys like Felton, man. Rest in peace, Felton, man. Different things like that. Guys who actually laid the footprint for Queensbridge, the community. Showing us what it's like to be a community. And different things like that. And then you had a lot of the older brothers who was running things in the community center, center, different things like that, who organized a lot of the basketball games and had computers downstairs for the kids to learn after school programs and different things like that. So it was more than just, the hustlers, and different things like that was in Queensbridge. We also had our elders, our peers who was community activists, man, who did a lot of things for the community that, we didn't probably, me, myself, I didn't really understand the magnitude of it until I got older of how that game was played. But, yeah, man, they kept us as a community. That's why we are a community as Queensbridge, and we are, we stand with each other, I love all my QB brothers, man, everybody. Everybody that hold a mic, and if you don't hold a mic, it don't even matter. If you're from Queensbridge, we got love for you. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a whole fact. That's how we got to keep it, man.
Yeah. And, of course, the Q Borough was known as a project over there, but, when we look at Queens as a whole, when we look at guys, like Ja Rule, Cool G Rap, everybody who represents it. What is in terms of that whole pedigree from the project, to the city, Farmers, Hollis, all of that, Run DMC represent. What is it like in terms of that whole family, in terms of just that whole bond and that kinship when all of you do cross paths and meet with each other?
Man, I think it's just all love, man. I think it's just all love, man. A lot of times, a lot of brothers, man, at least who I came up with, or who I witnessed come up, from my neighborhood, QB, is we all knew each other before rap. Like, I knew Trash before he spit his first rhyme, and he was rhyming since he was 13 years old. So, I knew Nas before. Yeah, I knew Nas before he knew how to rhyme, and Wiz and all of them, Horse, all of them, Nature, all of them, Havoc, we all know each other, man. They all know me very well before they were MCs and all of that. So,
yeah, we can't forget Mike DeLorean and Ron Artest either. We can't forget those guys.
Oh, man. Mike DeLorean, that's my dude. That's my dude. And Ron is family. That's all family, man. That's a whole fact.
Yeah,
shout out to the whole QB, man. Killer Kids, everybody. What happened?
He brought a ring to the bridge.
He brought a ring to the bridge, man. That's a fact, man.
How huge was that?
Well, I think son brought the whole wilding concept to the NBA, man. Son brought the whole Queensbridge wilding concept to this world. Son started then I was like, yo, son. The boy was like, yo, son, wilding. Yeah.
That'd be the Malice of the Palace in 2004. But if you remember him at St. John's, back in '98, he was still bringing it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's right, man. Yeah, we proud of Ron, man. We still proud of Ron. We're gonna always be proud of Ron, man. He did great things for the neighborhood. He continues to do that. He's a staple in the community, man. And ain't nothing but love for Artest. That's a fact.
True warrior himself, man, and just
true warrior.
See, just to see, but
he made them change the NBA dress code for real. He was when he brought the bridge out there, he left the NBA shook.
That's a fact. You know that.
Dennis, Rodman, he kind of had them on their tippy toes, but he ain't really scare him like that.
Nah, just the QB. We ain't really into the weirdo motherfuckers like that either, man. We real on point with the weirdo guys. We don't like your funny looking motherfuckers. All respect to Dennis Rodman, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we real. We different with some people, man.
It's just a trip though, because I remember. Because if you look at that documentary, the documentary is on Netflix now, the Malice in the Palace one. I was like, what made these guys think you're going to start something with for Queens dude and the dude from Port Arthur, Texas, Steven Jackson? Like, what was your thing? At the same time.
I'm like, the same damn time. I'm like, these niggas, I'm like, y'all know these dudes is like going to handle it. I'm like, that's.
You know that.
But. But I think a lot of people have to understand, when you grow up in certain environments, a lot of times people really don't understand, how certain things affect you in terms of, what you're around and what you experience. And, that's just part of the DNA. As you get older, you learn how to, especially once you've gotten into a professional position, in terms of how important it is to have a certain, to control it. I mean, but when, when there's that habitual line stepping, like we saw that night at the Malice of the Palace, look, understandably done, all that shit went out the window. What did Bugs Bunny say? Of course you realize this means war.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a throwback for you right there.
Yeah, man. It's like I'm like y'all ain't gonna be habit. I'm like the thing was like I tell his, I'm like, look, you ain't gonna habitually be violating on them dudes, and it ain't gonna be no payback from it. So I mean that's just how it goes.
The payback is inevitable, man. Anytime you fuck up, the payback is inevitable.
Yeah, man. But that's just But the one thing about it, where we look at all those elements, but the inspiration to see what you all have overcome, and to see you all become such positive, forces in the community in terms of really understanding, as you all get older, your importance in terms of how important it is to maintain that standard and everything. It is a very, we just seen hip hop go in very different places, and while all of it has not been bad, some of it has gotten into a place where we just wonder exactly how it got to this point. When you look at certain trends in terms of fashions, when you look at just certain antics, where do you think it went wrong in some areas in terms of what we're seeing heads do that we know in our era they would not have done?
I think just people just just listening to anything. Just I don't know. People just, I'm not saying they're falling for anything. I think it's just certain music is just, I think that it's just being pushed. Certain music is being pushed, man, and I don't know. I don't even know if it's too much being pushed, man. I think it's just a cycle that we're going through, man. I think that every few years or so, there's a cycle of music that takes place, man. You know what I mean? That's what I think we're in right now. We're in a cycle, and the shit has to run its course. I think that's what it is, man. In my opinion, man. I think we're just in a cycle, and it just has to run its course. Like if you look at all the music that transpired through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, man, it was just a generation of music that was just taking its course. You had like Ludacris and that whole vibe he had going on. You had Little John, that whole vibe. Like it was just like a whole different cycle of music that was just taking course. And right now we're in another cycle that's taking its course. That's what I think.
Yeah. But when we think about it, though, Imam, when we think about it in terms of how everything's being played now on the radio, pretty much music video shows are semi-non-existent now, because YouTube is pretty much what we go for now. But when we look at how we grew up, like, the radio, all the radio stations back in the day didn't necessarily have that corporate interest. So you didn't have playlists in terms of, we didn't have these corporate interests in terms of people who were dictating the playlists. Like the DJs actually got to break records. Yo MTV Raps, Video Music Box, Rap City, King and myself. We grew up listening to all of that. This is where we found all the new shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like now, and it's like now you got these button people pushers who are basically trying to dictate what the masses are. In terms what the style is. Like everybody got mad when Nas said hip hop is dead. And what he meant was how we kind of understood it as dead. But the culture is alive forever.
Exactly. That's a fact.
Yeah, but it's about what's being pushed now. What do you think it takes for everyone to open up in terms of, because I've always heard a saying, and I guess we're living proof of that. They say the real hip-hoppers don't watch, don't listen to the radio. The real hip-hoppers are reading the magazines and reading the blogs and, watching YouTube in terms of seeing who the new guys are and girls coming out. Like when we look at Griselda, when we look at, when we look at guys like, got to give a shout out to the California guys, give a shout out to Stupid Young and MB Nell, Cam and China. I mean, we got to look at, so many artists from all over, man, who are like, Baby Keem. I think he's Kendrick's protege. I mean, we're looking at all these artists who are who are really doing their thing. I mean, when you look at it, how do you think how do we get back to the music being having more encompassing in terms of just focusing on one particular act, but giving everybody a shine in terms of like who's just dope, but not who has the most press time of, shenanigans.
Right. I think that's going to spew from the music. I think that the opportunity for that to happen is in the air. It's for anyone to grasp. In my opinion, it's just a matter of the music. Who's going to have the music that's going to identify with that. Who's going to have the music that's going to transcend that time and still stick to what we enjoy, what we like to do. A lot of people say, "Oh man, you're trying to be the '90s back now." We don't try to be the '90s back. We just want to feel it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about transcending the feeling. That's really what it is. You can transcend the feeling through music as well. It don't got to be the music that you're used to. It can just be the style that gives you the feeling that transcends the music, transcends through the music. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, and what's the word? I give this a disclaimer before I say it because on Off the Cuff, we don't care if you're gay, black, straight, transsexual, whatever.
That's right.
We got love for everybody. We love everyone in terms of humanity. But I'm saying this, and I said that to say, like, when we look at what's going on with Lil Nas X and all his shenanigans, but King and myself is like, it's not the fact that he's gay. It's like, dude, I'm like, are you using, your lifestyle to really try to, but I'm like,
you're not
dude,
surprised, though. You're not surprised, man. You know what I'm saying? We're not surprised. We've been hearing about these things, man, in the industry for a long time. I think it's just that now. I think that now is just being really, pushed to the front, like at the highest level, which is, probably not ideal for children. I mean, for grown folks, people can make their own decisions. Grown people can make their own decisions on what they want to see or what they want to listen to, different things like that. But for the youth who may be, easily inspired or, swayed and different things like that, struggling with identity problems and stuff like that, that can be, a little problematic, I would think, man. So, that's not really, I'm not in favor of that, to be honest with you. I'm not knocking anybody for their identity or anything, but I really don't, support, like pushing certain things. On kids like that.
And I think even from the academics of it, Imam, I think it's just about the fact that, dude, it's like all he does. I'm like, where are we really gonna have that transcendent song that really like when I like with Steve Lacy, dope ass artist out of Compton. He recently came out as bisexual. I've gone on this show's record saying I'm a huge Steve Lacy fan, but that guy's music is on another level. He is on another level in terms of. I would tell anybody, if you fuse Prince and Pharrell's musical styles, that's what you get with him. The dude he's a fucking genius, and he's not even 25.
That's incredible.
Man, that's huge. Shout out to Issa Rae because I got to make sure all the people, Issa Rae, because she profiled one of his songs on her
series
Insecure. Yeah, Issa Rae, the show Insecure on HBO. Because she's always made a point to give shine to the new artist. And Steve, and even if Steve likes both ends of it, it's like the dude's talent is, he's not using shenanigans to push his talent. The dude's talent stands on its own. With Nas X, it's like every 5 seconds he's doing something to make everybody say, look at me, look at me. Okay, well, we're looking at you, but do you have any real good music coming behind it? Like the dude recently did a maternity photo shoot, and I'm looking at this like, really,
I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, that was really disturbing, you know. But there's a whole different lifestyle and a different world, man, that caters to that energy, and it's just that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So we're not here to like to kind of like fight or dispute the freedom of artistry. The freedom of artistry. That's not what it is. I think that for me, it's all about that exact thing, the freedom of artistry. The freedom of expression and different things like that. People are going to gravitate to what they want to gravitate to. It's for us, like artists like Imam Thug and the music that I like to bring out. You know what I'm saying? I want people to gravitate to this energy the same way, you know what I'm saying? Not synonymously, but the same way they would gravitate to anything else. You know what I mean? Just because it's not, what I'm saying, a crazy fucking to the left, you know what I'm saying, whole situation doesn't mean that, the music community can embrace the music. So we got to kind of get back to the music and, not so much on whether, someone got, they drip in the skirt, Motherfuckers talking about they drip the skirt and all this, so we do. We ain't trying to, put no skirts on and no crazy shit like that. But you know what I mean? We ain't trying to drip no skirts. You ain't gonna see Mom Thug and no crazy shit like that. But for those who do it, I'm not knocking what they do at all. That's just what people do in that genre of music, man. It's just we have different genres of music, man. We just have to cater to what we like.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's important.
I know that's kind of like that's a stiff arm way of looking at things, but I think that's the way shit is kind of set up for us right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, you either take that shit or you leave it. You either take this shit or you leave it. It wasn't like that before. It was kind of more universal before, but now it's like, damn, you take it or leave it type of deal.
Yeah. But we talk about this all the time, man, and as all of us being men here, we grew up, King and myself, we grew up in an era where the entry point of the game is different. Even keeping it real back in the day, hip hop, going back 35 years ago, was more of an independent endeavor. So you had a lot of independent labels. Nobody believed in it, like nobody believed in rock and roll, that it would actually last. So there was nobody really dictating to us how it should sound because we were doing it ourselves. Once the corporate entities came into it, this goes beyond sex or gender. This goes beyond orientations. This just goes beyond people who did not come up in the culture, no matter what color they were, who did, because because you're black doesn't mean you understand hip hop culture.
That's a fact.
But you got people who got into it, who started. How do I say this? They started writing the rules from what we originally had the rules as, and then when you got a lot of these youngins coming in now. Because when we look at the game now, we saw a lot of rappers. Now, LL, of course, was 15 when he first got in. But when you look at a lot of rappers across the board, like Cool G Rap, Public Enemy, MC Shan, KRS, these were, Roxanne Shante, MC Light, Queen Latifah. They were all a little older when they got in. So there was a certain level.
But Shantae was kind of young too when she got in too.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, she was real young. She was real young when she got in.
She got in.
Yeah.
And she was
Yeah.
Hell
but
yeah. Yeah, man.
But her trajectory was different from her upbringing, from where she was from. So I guess I said that to say you see a lot of these young kids coming in now who really are they just want to get heard, and they don't know how they get heard. But to their own peril and endangering their reputation, they will do whatever it takes to get heard, but not understanding long term in terms of how might this affect me. I will never forget what Fonte said in an interview years ago. He said, you want to make music at 22 that you're not ashamed of listening to when you're 32.
That's right. That's right. That's that universal. That's that universal music.
Like, damn.
Yeah, but you know what? When you're young, you do a lot of shit, man. You know. Hey, man, we're not proud of a lot of things we've done in the past, but I know that,
right
today, and you know what I'm saying, like, a lot of records I make today, or, in my opinion, are a lot of better than the records I made in the past. And the only reason why I say that is because, I'm a better artist today than I was in the past. And that takes nothing away from what I did. It's just that, you become better, You
right,
become better. Yeah, it's big growth. You become better, But the whole balance of it is to become better in a better way. Don't become better in a corny way. You know what I mean? Don't come better in a corny way. Come better in a better way.
Yeah. And the thing is, people got to understand, money. Oh, go ahead, King. Go ahead.
I was saying there's levels to all this.
That's a whole fact.
And King made a great point on his Facebook status about it, which I just had to do the golf clap, because it's like when he talks about how everybody will say such and such is better when they talk about their net worth. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter how much money somebody has that their album is great, or why somebody's album is great because of how much money they have. I'm like,
that's all I've been hearing. Even with this old deal with the Kanye and Drake thing. I mean, I seen a post yesterday when somebody was talking about, man, Kanye sold tickets, he sold this net worth, he can generate this. I'm like, but what's the music at? Nobody talk about it. They can't tell you 3 good songs off the shit.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm hearing. I heard the same thing. I heard he sold $15 million in merch in like 3 days, but I didn't hear a record. I didn't hear a record that a single. I didn't hear nothing about the music.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
But we like the music. Yeah. Where's the music?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, that whole record, man, I mean, one thing about it is Kanye is a genius, no two ways about it, in terms of what he has accomplished, just for College Dropout alone.
Absolutely.
And I mean, even with Dark Twisted Fantasy, I mean, those 2 albums alone, well, we really take it, his first 4 or 5 albums are just unbelievable.
You could take it before that. You could take it when Kanye was just a producer and nobody even wanted him to rhyme. Nobody even wanted him to spit anything. And that's the same way, not to go off track a little bit, but that's the same way with Steve Sola.
No, it's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Steve Sola, I'm not sure if you're familiar. Yeah, Steve Sola, a.k.a. Throw Lot of Goat. That's what I call him. His talent exceeds mixing, engineering, and mastering. He's not just a he's not just a guy who's a mixer, a master of engineering shit. This guy does phenomenal production. You know what I'm saying? This guy plays the guitar, he plays instruments. He's actually featured on my second single. He wrote the chorus, he sang the chorus, and he did the production. I swear to God, V12 is on the record, spitting bars on the record, incredible. It's just gonna blow your mind. I'm telling you right now. So, this whole thing here, man. This whole body of work that we got going on, man, it's historical, and it's an amazing body of work. Everybody has the freedom to be the best artist that they can be. Be immortal. That's what this project is. And everybody is on that immortal shit. That means that they are so that talent has transcended time.
Yeah, and that's called it's timeless. Well, we had Steve on the show a couple of years ago. Shout out to the Mix King, man. Great
Shout
friend
out to
of ours.
the Mix King.
Yeah, man. How was it? How did y'all end up coming together in terms of what were the talks like in terms of getting him to be on the project?
I mean, it was pretty simple, man. I mean, Steve, me and Steve been good friends for 20 years, man. So. We've done a lot of work together. He was the first person that put me and Prodigy in the room together to work together. On a song called The Recipe. Rest in peace to Prodigy, man. Me and P got to really sit down and build, burn it down and just build, and I received a lot of energy from him, man. That was untold energy, Look, I never really explained to nobody about that energy, But I received a lot of energy from him, man. He's a very deep, he was a very deep brother. You know what I'm saying? And man, he had a lot of energy with him, man. That's a fact. So shout out to Steve Solar also for, giving me some of that energy, man. He allowed me to be in that room and receive that energy, and that was important to me, and it still is, man. But, Steve, when I decided to do the project, Steve was like, he jumped on board right away. It wasn't a second. I didn't have to ask him twice or nothing, man. He actually was the first person to send me beats and everything, man. He sent me 4 tracks, to my email.
That's love.
Yeah, man.
That's love.
Yeah, he was the first one. He got in the foxhole with me ASAP without a second guess. So he's mixing and mastering the album and all that, and our videos and everything too. He's doing all the sound for our videos, the mixing of the sound on our videos and all that kind of stuff.
Man, I mean,
we're keeping everybody busy over here, man. We got our video guys, we got our sound guys, we got our, the artists that are doing their thing. We got the Empire Dream Productions moving out, that's handling everything, things like that. The Oracle, shout out to the Oracle. We got our machine, man, and we running.
I mean, in terms of that running, man, y'all got all the momentum of the universe to keep going because the marathon is always going to be magnificent. Imam, we are closing in on the end of this tremendousness. Dude, we cannot thank you enough so much. Man, I mean, the history, the lessons, the inspiration, we really have enjoyed this. And you're welcome back anytime, man. I mean, that goes without saying.
We love the
yes. Before we get off air, any shout-outs you want? Yeah, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any shout-outs you want to give before we go off for the night?
Absolutely, man. First of all, I want to shout out QB, man. I want to shout out, the whole 696. Everybody stay on their grizzly, stay on their grind, man. Keep, stay on your 1-2. I want to shout out, Empire Dream Productions, the Oracle. My man V12, the Black Sinatra. You feel me? Shit, man, throw a lot of goat. Everybody that's on the team, man, Lord Jazz, Sincere, the whole team, man. Everybody on the Immortal Legend train right now, man. I want to thank everybody, man. I'm grateful for everybody that's a part of this journey with me. That's a whole fact.
Look, and praise and, most blessings to the Most High for you to still, be doing this on this journey and for us to be a part of it in terms of you sharing your story with us, in terms of those tremendous, reflections, and always moving forward, man. It's
absolutely,
dude. I mean, this has been an honor. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you.
Oh, man, the pleasure is all mine, fellas, man. Hopefully you guys, as we continue to move on this journey, so we can double back and, do another great show for the people, man, for the community, for the hip-hop community. At the end of
it, one thing about it, man, the essence is all-encompassing, it's eternal, and it's all about bringing that contagiousness of positivity to the community, keeping it a full 360.
Indeed.
Man.
Indeed, my brothers. Indeed, man. I appreciate both of y'all, man.
Definitely. Likewise.
Oh, one last thing before I let y'all go, man. I just want to remind the people, everybody, if you haven't seen the video, to check the Yo video featuring Vito of the Black Sinatra, produced by DJ Modesty, to go to my bio, hit the link in my bio, watch the video, leave your comments, you know what I'm saying? Check out the shop for the merch and all the cool stuff we got there, man. And the single is out, man. The single is out. Check out Yo is out on all streaming platforms, man. Add it to your playlist. Clean your house to it, man. Whatever you feel. We here for the community, for the hip hop community,
Good
man.
vibes.
Feed them that food. Facts.
Good vibes everywhere, man. High vibrations for the sensation, man.
Indeed, brothers. Indeed. Peace and blessings to y'all, my brothers.
Definitely, man.
No doubt, man. On that note, we up out of here. Be sure to get that project out now.
Jip.
Check it, yo.